might already be halfway through summer, but sun protection is something that we should be taking seriously all year long. So let's do a new eco-friendly sunscreen review. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all sorts of things zero waste, where I focus on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste, and I love doing brand reviews. I like to do brand reviews about stuff that we're going to be buying anyway. I don't typically review stuff like the Lomi or XYZ, a product that you don't really need, but like everyone needs sunscreen, toilet paper, underwear. So those are the types of stuff that I like to review. And how these reviews work is I like to collect several different brands of the same item, sunscreen, and then review them head to head. And this is part 2 of the sunscreen review. You can check out part 1 up here. It's been 3 years, which is crazy. I did it right when we moved to Las Vegas. I think I still have some of that sunscreen left. Like, it lasts a long time. I don't put it on every day. Today we have 4 more brands that I have tried over the last, a lot of these to the test, especially last summer. Last summer I worked outside every single day in Spokane, and it got pretty hot there and pretty directly sunny. So I think I have a pretty good idea of how well these all work, and they're all very different. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's first jump into Sun Juju. I think I've had this one the longest, and honestly, I've used it the least. And I regret using it the least because it's probably one of my favorites that I've tried over the last several years. I got this gifted to me right after I posted that first video, so I've had this one for a while. And it is the only one in a metal tin we have today. A lot of the ones that we had in tins from the first video were like rock solid, and that just had to do with what ingredients they used. But like, look at this one, so buttery, which is why I like it. It very much looks and acts like normal sunscreen. Here we go. We'll do a swatch of each of these. I also really like this one because look how well that blends in. No white cast with this one. This one is a little oily. You can maybe you can see how shiny I am. I can really see it. This one's a little on the oily side. So I guess big pro and con right off the bat. I also am not a huge fan of the tins because they can get kind of messy. Right here around the rim, it's like starting to drip a little bit. But the good part about this one is this one doesn't melt. A lot of those other ones that can tend to be rock solid, you have like something like coconut oil in them, or I don't know, something that melts, and they get really, really messy. But something that I don't like about tins, and it's less bad now that I don't live in such a hot climate like Vegas, but tins swell when they get hot. So it makes these hard to like put in my hiking bag because they tend to melt and they also tend to swell, and then I can't open them if I need more. So this one typically stays at home, and then I just use it like when I'm getting ready in the mornings in the bathroom, because it's not the best for travel, at least if you're like hiking in hot climates. But yeah, and I just think taking a tin like this like to the beach would get sand in it. I feel like it would be kind of messy. This one is an SPF 50. It does say non-greasy. It's drying. I think it just wasn't dried yet. I also like tins because they are commonly accepted for recycling and also very, very easy to reuse. And honestly, yeah, this lasts forever. Here's the price and the price per ounce. I think this is a really, really great home sunscreen option, and honestly, and this one applies probably the best, maybe. Let's move on to another one that I've had for a long time, and that is Kinfield. I have 3 of theirs, the sample sizes. This is the Cloud Cover SPF 35, Daily Dew SPF 35, and Sun Glow SPF 35. I'm not really sure there's a difference, and yeah, these are just their sample sizes. And because they're all so similar, I really can't tell which one I like the best. But I do really like these sample sizes to throw in my hiking bag. Oh, Sun Glow seems to be tinted. Because this is great, like if you're like, oh wow, I forgot my sunscreen today. I just need a little bit for my face so that I don't get wrinkles and sunburn. I like it for that purpose. That's why I also like the tubes. I don't like the tubes obviously because they're plastic, but I do like the tubes because they're so much easier for travel. They are less messy. It's very similar. Like if you're looking for a sunscreen that's similar to what you're used to, but you want something that has better ingredients and traditionally better packaging, a lot of these are made with recycled plastic or with recyclability in mind. Can't really tell in this small package. These 2 had screw-on caps. In this last one, the Cloud Cover has a snap cap. We've got Sun Glow, which is tinted, Daily Dew, and then Cloud Cover. That actually went on pretty good, the Cloud Cover. It typically goes on my hands and my face better than my arms because I have arm hair and it gets stuck in there. Wow, look at that. A little goes a long way. That was like a pea size and it's doing my whole forearm. Wow, that worked in really nicely. No white cast there. Ooh, these smell really nice. This one's Sun Glow. Let's put that on this arm. Ooh, on my lava lamp, that one's new too. Whoa, like covering up my lava lamp. Yeah, I think that's kind of turning me a little bit pink. Maybe that's the purpose of Sun Glow, is to make it look like you're wearing makeup. But otherwise, I think it works in pretty good. Those all worked in really, really good. I would say a little on the greasy side. I look pretty shiny. It could just be I put on too much. And I like that they are in plastic tubes because they are more traditional. But yeah, I can't tell if these are recyclable or not. So eco-friendliness, ingredients, sure. Packaging, not really. But does it work? Yes. And does it apply nicely? Yes. So big pros, big cons, I think, with this one. I don't think it's anything special. Moving on to another one, I barely have any of this left. I loved this one last summer in Spokane, and the best thing that I love about this one from Krave is, again, that it comes in a regular tube. It functions very much like normal, and it applies so nicely. Like, zero white cast. That applies so nicely, so smooth, no greasy, and it feels really nice too. I know I had really good things to say about Sun Juju, but honestly, I think Krave takes the cake on how well it applies and how well it functions like as normal. It's thin, it's protective, it's SPF 45. The tube is 90% post-consumer recycled plastic, but unfortunately the tube is a number 5 plastic, which is rarely accepted for curbside recycling. Maybe not rarely, it's like half and half. So check your local rules before trying to recycle this tube. Also made with better ingredients for the planet and also beetroot. And I think the beetroot is specifically like food waste. But yeah, I basically used this every day in Spokane, at least on my face. I did pretty good about like wearing long sleeves and pants for most of the summer to prevent sunburn. But this was great on my face. It's light, it works, and it's almost gone. I'm gonna miss this one. This one probably would be one that I would order again without a doubt. If it's not too expensive. This one might take the cake for my favorite sunscreen, but obviously the packaging isn't great, so I do have to mark them for that one. I like that they use post-consumer recycled plastic. The tube is not recyclable, usually. Plus, obviously, recycling is broken in general. Like, even if a number 5 is accepted for recycling, doesn't mean it's going to get recycled. I would much rather go with something that has a higher recycling rate or a better reusability. Our last brand for today is Babo Botanicals. And in full disclosure, this brand has paid me in the past for sponsored ads. None of these other ones have ever paid me, but I'm still going to give you my honest thoughts because this video is not paid. And then I got all of these for a sponsorship, so I don't really use all of them. We've got an SPF 30 sports stick. This makes it very easy to apply to your face. SPF 50, I believe this is for children, but like adults can use SPF 50 too. And then an SPF 30 spray on. This is the only spray on I've seen in an eco-friendly sunscreen. So I really like this option for those who like the spray-on sunscreen, like me. I like it because it applies much thinner and it's very easy to work into your skin as opposed to a paste. And I think their paste is typically pretty thick. Oh no, that's pretty good actually. So let's first try the SPF 50. Where should I put it? We'll put it on my cat. Oh, that was a lot. On my whole arm apparently. Keep in mind, that was just a small dab. It's probably going to work into my whole arm. It does have some trouble working into my arm hair. Just a little bit. I really get in there, it works out. There you have it. I think that applies really well, and I do like that it's SPF 50. I like a high SPF myself. And again, like the tube, I like how it's easy to apply and it functions as like a normal sunscreen. Let's see if they have any details about the tube. No, I'll see if I can find anything on their website. Oh wait, it says it's a number 5. I thought they used recycled materials, but it's not on the package, which makes me think that they don't. It's also fragrance-free, vegan, dermatologist-tested, dairy, soy, gluten-free, paraben, and phthalate-free. So this is very good for your body and the planet. I also like Babo Botanicals as a brand because they are actively engaging in like anti-greenwashing. They used to themselves call themselves reef safe, but once they realized that term really doesn't mean much and actually can be used for greenwashing, they quit using that term. So I like that they are actively learning and educating themselves and becoming an anti-greenwashing brand. They're very honest on their website. Like they will say like, our sunscreen might not actually be reef safe. We do our best to use reef safe ingredients, but because that term is so loose and unregulated, we don't feel comfortable saying it, and they're just very honest. Here's the sports stick. I'm running out of places to put sunscreen. Do a swatch on my neck because I just put makeup on. I don't want to put it on my face. Honestly, I haven't even tried this one yet. Tried all the other ones, but not this sports stick because I'm not usually a fan. But I think that worked in pretty good. I can't really tell because I don't have like a mirror. Oh yeah, and really thin. That was out without me rubbing it in. A lot of the sports sticks that I tried in part 1 were so thick. Wow, okay, I'm impressed. I like that one. I've got 7 layers of sunscreen on my hand. So this will be nice to put in like my hiking bag in case I need an emergency sunscreen. It's small, it's compact, and it applies really nicely. It screws up right here. So I'm a fan. Anything to say about this packaging? Water and sweat resistant for 80 minutes. You can put this one on your lips. Ooh, this one's a number 2. So this is actually likely curbside recyclable, unlike these plastic 5s that we have down here. If you're looking for a recyclable plastic option, this is a good one, because a lot of these other plastic options are not recyclable, which is a shame. But I guess that just brings light to a bigger conversation we need to be having in the zero waste movement, is that Recyclability matters, but because our recycling system is so broken, it's not the answer. But what's also important about these eco-friendly sunscreens that come in non-recyclable packaging is the ingredients. Is it better for your skin? Is it better for our waterways? Is it better for our soil and our plants and our animals? The answer is yes. These are considerably better than a plastic tube from, you know, a big brand. I don't even know any big brands off the top of my head. Banana Boat. Like, they're going to be using the same non-eco-friendly packaging with worse ingredients. So if you're going to choose a sunscreen in plastic, you might as well choose one with the better ingredients. That's what I'm getting at. Of course, if you want to try one of these in metal, go for it, because metal is highly recyclable. But even then, there's the nuance too, is this metal was not made from recycled materials. Making brand new metal is highly energy intensive and resource intensive. So is it better than plastic? Sure, in the sense that it probably will be recycled. It's easy to reuse, as well as it won't create microplastics, but there's a lot of nuance here. And if you want to learn more about the nuance between different types of packaging, you can check out this video. All right, we have one more from Babo Botanicals. These are the exact same, SPF 30, all the same ingredients and everything, just different vessels. I find though that this does need a little bit of shaking. One day I used it without shaking it and it was so watery and I'm like, oh, the sunscreen sucks. The next day I shook it and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to do. Let's put it up here. Oh, and it locks, that's really nice. There we have it on. And it applies really, really nicely. I like how easy, well, it is a little thick, which is weird. And I think it has to do with the arm hair. See, it looks really nice up here, but then look at it down here in my arm hair. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. It does not work into hair very well. So like Dan will use that on his face and it kind of gets stuck in his beard. If you really, really work it, it'll get there eventually. It's kind of weird that this one doesn't like rub in as well as some of these other ones because it's the thinnest. It's a spray, so it's the thinnest. It does say back here, shake well for 5 seconds. Oops, my bad. I'm glad I actually did that later on. This is metal, if you can hear. A downside is not everywhere will accept aerosols for recycling, so check your local rules. Some areas do, some areas don't. Ooh, it was getting clogged, so keep that in mind. This can clog pretty easily. I think between like the locking mechanism and the spray, I think spray is especially great for kids. I also like it just because it's easy. This is a great one for traveling, for going to the beach, for going to the pool. You can feel safe that it's not going to spill. I've been using Babo pretty much exclusively for the last month or so. Granted, it hasn't been warm enough for me to like be out in a bathing suit, so I'll put an update down in the comments at the end of the summer how well I used these and if I actually got any sunburns with these. Sunburn isn't always the fault of the brand. I think it was Juju once I used and I got a terrible sunburn because I went swimming and I was out in the sun for like 6 hours and didn't reapply. So, my own fault. Everything considered, what do I think of these sunscreens? Honestly, as I'm sure you've gathered throughout this video, there's a lot of nuance with all of these brands, but I'm going to say my favorite one to use is Krave. It applies the easiest, the thinnest, it looks the best. Like, it doesn't even look like I'm wearing sunscreen up there, but these other ones, like, I can kind of feel it. They're a little bit thicker, they're a little bit oilier, they're a little bit more difficult to apply. This applies so nicely, so thin, yet still protects my skin. It feels lovely, and it worked really well. After that, I'm gonna say it's a tie between Babo and Juju. All of the Babo ones I like. As much as this one doesn't apply, I still really like this one just because it goes on the easiest. It's so much easier to just spray my whole arm than like get a dab and like dab all around. It's not that difficult, but I just think this one's easier. So this one's my favorite Babo. Tied with both of these. This one's a great body one. This one's a great face one. Nothing bad to say about those. Juju I also like. I might have to give it just a step above Babo for the materials that they use in the packaging. It's highly nuanced, but in last place is Kinfield, without a doubt. They're really not that eco-friendly when it comes to packaging or as a brand. They're kind of just like an outdoorsy brand, and outdoorsy brands tend to be eco-friendly because I think they do go hand in hand a bit. Great to say about Kinfield. Other than that, it works, but all of these work. The smell though, this one does have the best fragrance if you want something that does have a little bit of a scent to it, because most of these are unscented. Again, just for environmental reasons and also health reasons. I'm not sure what it is in here. It's got to be like, it smells kind of like, maybe like a hint of citronella. Maybe it's also a bug repellent. How cool. That's genius, actually. Somebody get on that. Somebody make a bug spray or bug repellent sunscreen combo. Those are my thoughts. I have tried all of these a lot, but of course, I'll keep you posted on my thoughts down below. I guess comparing to the last sunscreens that I used, the ones that come out in my mind as my favorites were Butter Me Up Organics, because that one was so buttery and luscious, but it was very, very oily. It did kind of leave oil stains on my clothes, but it was just so lovely, and it worked really well. I liked using that one on tattoos. Speaking of tattoos, I also have a tattoo aftercare video if you're interested in that. You can check it out up here. Sun Butter was another one. It's very, very similar to Juju. It comes in a metal tin. It's very, like, not hard. It's very much a paste in a tin. There are a lot of good eco-friendly sunscreens out there. I tried only a few in the first video that I absolutely hated and do not recommend, so go watch the first video. But all of them today, like, depending on your price, depending on what you like in packaging and what your purpose is for sunscreen, all of these are great in their own way. Pick which one works best for you. These are just my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Let me know what other sort of reviews you want me to see. You know, comparing several different brands head to head. I do have a bug repellent video coming, hopefully in July. I want to do it sooner rather than later. I think I'm comparing 5 or 6, I think 5 eco brands plus off, plus an herbal remedy, like just a plant I'm gonna pluck out of the ground. That one's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna involve actual science and testing and statistics. I look forward to that video. I hope you're looking forward to it as well, especially with summer, all these eco-friendly summer essentials. But let me know what other brand reviews you want to see down below. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye, guys. Is that too bright? I don't know. I'm gonna go with it. I don't know how to start this video.